Have you here today at my Fundadores Club. I can't even tell you how happy I am that you, who represent so much of being what I consider a visionary, as well as a cultural ambassador, as well as someone who has almost changed the shape of racing tourism around the world, not to mention your charities and so on. So I want to just mention a couple of statistics. I mean, one of them is that your 140th anniversary of the Jockey Club since 1884. Right? You came here in 1998, which was about the time that I arrived as well. But since that time, you now had a turnover this year, or last year, of 330 billion.
Yeah.
Is it correct that 73% of your waging and betting actually goes back to the 73% of your revenue goes back to the community?
It is correct. I think I would be even more bold to say 95% of our operational surplus goes back.
And you are the biggest giver to charity, not only in Hong Kong and Asia, but you're one of the top 20 in the world. You gave over 9 billion into charity, and 39 billion you've given back to society.
Yes.
Is that correct?
Yeah.
So what you have created is a powerhouse of not only business, racing, tourism, and cultural exchange that doesn't exist anywhere else in the world, as far as I can tell. But before I go into everything of all the exciting things I want to talk about, I don't think people really know anything about you. I mean, other than you're German.
Mm-hmm.
But how did you end up coming to Hong Kong in 1998? And I'd really like to talk a little bit more about your involvement in horses. How did you get involved in horses? Were you riding ponies when you were a kid, or did you just always have a passion for them? So what was your experience in getting involved in horses, and how did you end up coming to Hong Kong?
First of all, I think thank you for having me for this exchange, because it's not a classical interview. Probably it's destiny that I'm involved with horses, because I'm born in the year of the horse. So this is. But I think really as a young kid, first of all, as many young kids in Germany love soccer, and I was not too bad in soccer, so I played up to German national youth team, etc. But my father had always an interest in horses, and we had some race horses. And for me, when you, as a young kid, 4 or 5 year olds, go to a racetrack, see horses running, and it is the most beautiful animal in the world.
Yeah.
And the dynamics, the sounds, the elegance, the speed, this, in a way, is something in your mind, and you never forget it. So when I then grew up a little bit more, I was getting more and more involved beside my studying. I studied finance, economic statistics in Cologne. I did a master in about the impact of unfriendly takeover bids in option pricing, which I later tried to explore a little bit more. So it is not the classical what you see horses. But I think when I married my wife, they had one of the biggest stud farms and racing operations in Germany. Oh. And my father-in-law died, and suddenly we had an operation with 200 people, probably around 200 horses, and if you're not careful, it could cost you a fortune. So I became more and more involved, and I was always interested in the breeding side, which is fascinating. So, and then we were a group of relatively young guys who thought that German racing, in the context of European Union, was isolated. So you could not export French horses, British horses. So we had to adapt.
No cross-border horses?
No.
You couldn't bring horses over from Germany or France for racing?
You get them for certain races, but the market was practically closed.
Wow.
You had only limited ability to buy overseas horses. Oh. And then with the European Union, so we led an exercise. Our former chairman of the German Jockey Club was Walter Scheel, who was the president of Germany before, and foreign minister. So I was the youngest ever member of the German Owners Breeders Association. I was seen as a little bit as a young Turk who had revolutionary ideas, because I said we have to change the business model, we have to change how we operate.
How old were you?
26.
Oh my gosh.
So then I became the youngest ever board member of the German Jockey Club, which is non-executive role when I was 28. So I get more and more involved, and our family, we have a reinsurance business. And I had big discussions with my father because I thought we were medium-sized, around 400 employees. I told my father either we grow or we become even more specialized. Other shareholders didn't agree and said, look, I do something else. And in the end, I was asked by the board of the Jockey Club if I could, at least for a certain period of time, rechange the whole German Jockey Club and have a non-for-profit regulatory and statbook arm, and then the commercial arm where we practically create a TV station, we create telephone betting, and I learned a lot from Hong Kong. So I had always an affinity to Hong Kong and a very customer-centric, technology-driven way. And I knew Alan Lee, who was chairman of the Hong Kong Jockey Club, from my international racing experience, and we raced always horses in Deauville. So, and we discussed, because he became chairman, what the opportunities of Hong Kong is under the one country, two system. The Jockey Club was a very colonial organization. But I thought there's a unique opportunity that the Hong Kong Jockey Club could become one of the global leaders in the world, and that attracted me to Hong Kong. And I wanted to give my 3 children a different cultural experience. So the whole globalization and coming to an Asian culture from a German very focused and rational culture, and understanding different cultural background, that enticed me to come to Hong Kong.
And that was in 1998.
1998.
And then you were the director of racing.
Yeah.
Is that right?
Yeah, and we came up with a strategy because Hong Kong at that time was seen as regional racing, huge catering, nice facility, great technology, but the quality of the sport was not what I personally think should be from a strategic position in the right way. So then I came up with a plan how Hong Kong could, within 5-10 years, become one of the global leaders in horse racing. So we developed a clear strategy with incentive systems. I brought the best people from around the world into the club, and I built a very strong Hong Kong talent team. And with this, we were able then, within 10 years, practically, we had no horse in the international classification. Then we had 10 horses in the international classification. If you look now, the standing of Hong Kong racing, we have 0.8% of the world's horse population, but 9% of the best horses in the world are trained in Hong Kong. You see horses like Kaiying Rising was the best sprinter, you see Romantic Warrior. So this has enabled us to attract different customer segments. Because when I became CEO in 2007, unfortunately, the racing turnover was in significant decline. So racing turnover went down from 92 to 59 billion.
It's now 330 billion.
Horse racing is 140.
140 billion. Okay,
So,
okay.
But
okay.
but there was, and our customer base, we had around 2 million horse racing fans. It went down to 1 million. So we then came up with a strategy really based on a clear market segmentation strategy. We did psychographics, what are potential customer segments, what has the strategic positioning. And then it was clear, the more we position horse racing as sports entertainment, we can reach completely different customer segment that leads into a massive investment in facilities, racecourse master plan, technology, marketing. And now our customer base is back to 1.6 billion. But most importantly, because Hong Kong racing is seen as a prime product in the world, we have exported it now with commingling into 28 countries, 60 partners, and 30% of our turnover in horse racing comes now from overseas. So we have globalized Hong Kong racing, and this has enabled us to really widen the customer base, not only in Hong Kong, but globally. And this is why we're seen as a global leader in racing, from the quality of sport, from the integrity, because integrity is key of the sport. One of the aspects which many people don't know, we have the best equestrian lab globally. Even equestrian competition, not only horse racing competition, if they're really difficult cases, we are asked to test them. There's one case where in US there was a horse who was, our trainer suspect, was suspicious regarding activities. So we went then, the US Jockey Club approached us. We tested the substance, the blood, and we found, I think, 6 different prohibited substances, which led into the disqualification of the trainer. This is everything we do, and this is our value, is driven by world-class excellence.
Oh my goodness. Do you know, it was so exciting. Just last week, I think it was the Arc de Triomphe in Paris.
Yeah.
I have always wanted to go to that race. I happened to turn on the television, and there was that race, and the elegant women and their hats. It was so fantastic. And you're doing Ascot, and you're doing all these major races that we can now watch on television, and we can put a little gaming on it and do a little bit of have fun with it as well. It's fantastic.
So with the commingling, we have started really people betting on Hong Kong races. But then we built this platform, and I had discussion globally with our partners. Horse racing need to pull together as one sport and not fragmented. So we created what we call world pools. So all the major races in the world are now wagered on, and the liquidity is consolidated in Hong Kong.
Wow.
So this is a major instrument to fight illegal markets, and it creates significant income for other racing jurisdictions. Hong Kong has the highest liquidity, so around 65% comes from Hong Kong. But with this huge pool size, it becomes now much more attractive for other people to wager in a pari-mutuel way. We started this collaboration of Whirlpool with Royal Ascot, because we think that's the right brand to do so. And if you look at the income generation we have, therefore, for Ascot, of course, we create the value of this global platform. And we have expanded now to other major race meetings. British racing, for example, we covered last year 16 race meetings, generating around £14 million for British racing. Bookmakers pay for all the fixtures, £90 million. So this is a major ability for them then to reinvest. We did the same with countries like in South America, we cover races, but South Africa. In South Africa, we were shut off from the racing world, of course, due to the equine virus. And we helped them then with commingling to build infrastructure, quarantine station, vaccination protocols. So this kind of revenue sharing, where we provide a platform and globally, in a way, connect people, fights illegal bookmaking and create completely new income streams, especially for those jurisdictions who have not the strong financial background we have.
So with the start of what you did in Germany, you have now taken that on a total global basis out of Hong Kong. And you're also the chairman of the Asian Racing Federation, and you're the chairman of the International Racing
International Horse Racing Authorities Federation.
So you are meeting with all of these horse racing entities all over the world. So you're really, when we talk about racing tourism, you're actually bringing it back to life around the world. You're making it on a global scale of connecting everybody in one central area, which is
I
phenomenal.
Think, for me, in a way, if you look at horse racing as a sport, faces significant competition. And if we are not, if we fragment it, we will not be able to address structural issues. And one of the biggest issues is we fight the illegal market, who takes a lot of revenues out of the ecosystem. Because in the end, it's an equine industry. It's a breeding industry. It's a racing side. And racing is a selection process for breeding, and it goes back into the breeding cycle. And one can see with a fragmented model like in Great Britain, the wagering industry, betting industry, gives only a tiny amount back to the industry. So therefore, their funding model is flawed. And this doesn't enable you to invest in experiences, in facilities, in digital technology. And if you don't do this, you will become a dinosaur.
Yeah.
When you see what other sports do, and probably we are a leader because we develop now really immersive experiences. We invested over the last 10, 15 years, massive amount in customer experience in the race courses and in technology. We have now a completely new immersive experience. In Shartin, we opened up in September, which creates global interest. Because you can, in a way, especially younger generation, can immerse themselves in horse racing. You can, in a way, interact with the best horses in Hong Kong, like Golden 60, in a virtual stable, because you cannot go in the physical stable.
Yeah.
And then you have in Guangzhou, you have an immersive experience where you can ride a horse. So you have to create different experiences and technology, especially when I compare now with other sports too, like NBA. I was at the NBA games on the weekend on Friday, had an extremely good meeting with the commissioner of the NBA, Adam Silver, and how we can collaborate. And with Alibaba, for example, who use amazing technology to get you into the sport, to understand the sport. So this kind of innovation, we can do a pilot, but if racing doesn't adapt it globally, you will lose a customer base, and in the end, it's an ecosystem globally.
So you're being this visionary of seeing ahead 5-10 years of what are the pitfalls. You've been working on this since you got here almost, of seeing how we could evolve this, what were some of the areas that we needed to improve on. But you also now have the gaming with football and basketball for the Jockey Club. Is that correct?
Not yet.
But
it has been, the Legislative Council has approved the bill. And now we have to go to the administrative procedure to apply for the license. So we aim in a way that we have basketball betting in October 26. We have to invest heavily in technology. Many people don't know we are a technology organization. Our system, our wagering system, can handle as much transaction as a stock exchange.
As a what?
As a stock exchange.
Oh my gosh.
So we have, in a way, we can handle 8,000-9,000 transactions per second. We're building now the next system to do even more. We have 1,200 people in the IT division. We have 800 people in Hong Kong, 400 in our development center in Shenzhen. Because most of the application we have to develop ourselves. Because you don't have ready-made solution who can handle these kind of transactions.
There's no prototype for this. No one's ever done this before.
And this next thing which I see from sharing and technology, we want to build now a platform which could be shared from other jurisdictions. Because in the end, it doesn't make sense to duplicate, replicate, triplicate systems, and you don't invest in innovation. One of the problems of racing is you have the technology side, toll providers are separately from the business side. But with a shrinking turnover, there's no investment in technology. There's no investment in expanding and innovate. And this is what we try to create as a platform, and what I try to do as chairman of the International Federation, how we can create synergies across the different jurisdictions. And this has been, I would say, very successful with World Pools, which is seen as one of the greatest innovation in racing. And I introduced this concept in the Asian Racing Federation in 2006.
No.
But it takes a little bit time to get innovation through, because there are a lot of technical issues with taxation, etc. But now it has been fully embraced. And now
high five you.
And now it's really growing, and it's seen as really one of the significant additional revenue generation for a lot of jurisdictions around the world.
Oh my God! Well, you said something like 30% or 33%
from
of your
our turnover comes from
coming
overseas.
from overseas as well.
But overseas, I would say,
it's already generating another. You've given it life again.
Yes, yeah.
I mean, you've recharged racing around the world effectively, and you attract so many people to our, I call it racing tourism, where we have the Longines, we have the FWD. So you're bringing in the top horses, the top trainers, the top jockeys, the top owners in the world to Hong Kong to come racing. How did that come about?
And this was the strategy to position Hong Kong as a global racing product. And what are the incentives? You can put prize money in, but owners, when you understand their psychographics, they're achievers and succeeders. Yeah. They want to show they're successful. Yeah. And we do this, for example, in Hong Kong with the BMW Derby, where it's a driver for people to import horses, which has then an impact on the whole horse quality. Yeah. So we created the Hong Kong Derby as the main target for Hong Kong owners, 4-year-olds. But the next level is you want to win the international races.
Yeah.
We want to benchmark where we are. So we created with the Longines Hong Kong International Race Meeting one of the biggest global racing events. So we were very clear. We will not go on dirt races because when you have 1,300 horses, you have to focus on quality.
Yeah.
So then we said we are sprinters, where we are the best, milers,
Yeah.
2,000, and for the international profile, we need a 2,400 meter race. So our 1,216, 2,000, and 2,400 meter races are among the highest prize money races in the world. We attract now the really top horses from all over the globe. And this positions Hong Kong on the sporting side as a leader, but it has become a major international tourist attraction. And with the positioning of horse racing as sport, we could convince now, especially mainland authorities, and through the policy address of John Lee, where he said horse racing tourism is one of the key policies. We have now a strategic collaboration agreement with the China Travel Group, who now, with all their channels, promotes going to Hong Kong to the races. 1st of October, we had 42,000 spectators, 12,000 came from mainland China. We have now every race meeting around 10, 15, sometimes 25% of the racegoers are mainland China racegoers who experience something which you cannot experience in mainland.
No.
So this is a position, global sport and horse racing as leisure fun activities. And now we have dialed up the entertainment element because we did another significant study regarding market segmentation and how we can attract even a more younger fan base. And it is very clear you have to combine horse racing as a holistic entertainment. The value proposition cannot be only world-class sport. It's F&B, but we bring certain entertainment elements like top-class performers before races, during races, to make this a whole entertainment experience. And the next phase of this, we have now signed a collaboration agreement with Simon Fuller, XRS, who produce Spice Girls, etc. And we create now new offerings to make this more holistic, that you can have on a regular basis international stars coming, but how we connect to a fan base which is much more entertainment based, and this is a significant holistic customer experience journey.
Well, I mean, people who go to Happy Valley, you know,
Yeah.
the Saturday nights, the craziness, it's wonderful. And you're sitting out in the middle of Hong Kong with the skyscrapers, and you've got the horses racing, and you've got the entertainment going, and you've got people boogieing, and yet it's unlike anything in the world.
Yeah. There is no other place in horse racing than Happy Wednesday.
Yeah.
So when we had the discussion in 2011-12 that I felt Happy Wednesday, the Wednesday night became a little bit boring, because with digitalization, we have now 90% of our customers on digital platforms. Naturally, people say, why go to the races if you don't create an event? And then we said, and especially with younger elements, and what I call our racing uncles, they more and more stayed at home.
Yeah. Okay.
Were wagering with the phone.
Yeah.
And then we had this wonderful space. And I talked to a friend of mine who was with EMI at that time, Hans Ebert. I said, how can we combine horse racing with entertainment? So we came up with the concept of Happy Wednesday. And we started with
When was that?
Oktoberfest, 2012.
Okay.
We started with Oktoberfest because Oktoberfest was extremely popular. So and with
And
this,
you're German.
yeah, but not because I'm a German, but I thought it was a slam dunk because everybody in Hong Kong loved Oktoberfest. So therefore, we started with this, and then we developed this further in certain themes like Bollywood night, Brazilian night.
Yeah.
So you have always new themes.
Wow.
And you create a live, vibrant experience. And there's no other place in the world like Happy Wednesday, where you're so close to the horses. At night, you're surrounded by skyscrapers.
Yeah.
My dear friend Ferguson, Alex was here, and he said, "Oh, this is like the stadium of night light." So it is a unique. You're in the middle of the city. People come after work. I know that Alan Zeman is not happy that I took the business from Landgreifung, but I told him, you can advocate Happy Wednesday and then you go afterwards. No, but it has become, especially now, an international tourist attraction. Is a must-see in Hong Kong.
Yes.
And people who come here said, this is horse racing at its best.
Yes.
You see the beauty of horses.
Yes.
You can, from the 1650-meter start, practically from the beer garden, you nearly can touch horses.
Yes.
And this intensity, the beauty of horses, and the spectacle, and combined with the extremely competitiveness of Hong Kong racing, with the close finishes, this is something which is unique to Hong Kong.
Yeah, I mean, hear the thunder of those horse hoofs. You don't get that on television.
No.
You're standing there, and your ground is shaking as these horses are are galloping by you. It's really remarkable.
But this live, why you have live events? To really build a fan base. And in all our analytics show, if you don't have somebody go 7 times to the races, the risk of losing middle customer, the retention is significantly lower, because you need this permanently experience, engagement.
Let me take that to the next step with this. I don't know how to where to start with this, but maybe start with, when you decided to open up a center in China, in Zhonghua, I want to come to that in a second. But before I go there, what many people may not be aware of is that you actually have 3 race courses, 2 in Hong Kong and 1 you're going to be opening up in Zhonghua. You have 3 country clubs that you're also running at the same. This isn't about racing. It's about swimming and families and so on and so forth. And when you decided to open up a center in China, what is going on here? Why are you doing this? Why did you do that? What was besides having the cultural exchange with China and so on, what forced you or made you feel that was important?
I think if you look at the business vision, if you want to have world-class racing, you need world-class facilities. We were growing our horse population, but Sha-Tin became too small. And we had stable complex. When you see, Sha-Tin was built 1976. So, and our horses, now the quality of horses we have now are a little bit better than 1976. So therefore we had space limitations, and we had to do a major renovation of the stables in Sha-Tin, who were 50 years old. And I wanted to create better training facilities for world-class horses. We explored to get additional land in Hong Kong, which was mission impossible. And then we did the Beijing Hong Kong Olympics, which I personally think is one of the biggest achievements we have done in the club. Because in 2008, when one could not have the equestrian events in Beijing, we were asked by the Chinese government and the Hong Kong government.
Why couldn't they have the equestrian events?
Because there is you need an equine health status where you can bring horses in and out, and you could not bring horses into China because they had not the international health status. So if you bring top horses in, they're stuck. So, and therefore, for Olympics, it's a little bit difficult. So then we were asked, because Hong Kong has the international health status, equine health status, to host the equestrian Olympics, Beijing Olympics in Hong Kong. We did this within 4 years. We get the notification. We designed the facilities. We built the facilities, and we run the operation. So this was obviously seen as a great success.
Wow.
And then Guangzhou had the Asian Games. So Guangzhou wanted to host the Asian Games in Hong Kong, and the government said, no, we can't, because the facilities we built had to go back to the Sports Institute. So then we were asked if we could replicate and try to build the first equine disease-free zone in China. So we worked then with the Chinese government Chinese government, especially Ministry of Agriculture, who is in charge of quarantine, and with the Hong Kong agricultural department. as the International Horse Racing Federation, I've developed a very strong network with the World Animal Health Organization. So we built then within 1.5 years the first equine disease-free zone. So this is Chongfa.
Oh,
So therefore, then the Asian Games could be there. And then we said there is a legacy use. And the legacy use is that we wanted to use this for a training facility and potential race course. So then we started in 2012 to build this training facility. But the business logic for us was we want to improve the quality of facilities for training world-class horses. It has been a surrounding success. People were very critical. Will not work.
yeah. I'm not going to send my horse to China. He's got to, yeah.
And we trained from zero, 800 horse people. We have all the training, vocational training tools.
Vets, everything.
Yeah. The vets take a little bit longer.
Yeah.
And this is a major work stream we try at the moment. Not we try, we work on to implement in China. So we had to bring overseas vets in, but we trained mainland Chinese vets in our facilities and globally who are working now in the facility. So it's a master class of how to build capability, capacity, how you do rural revitalization. But the business strategy was we need to expand. Naturally, then people say we would like to have horse racing, not with wagering, as a sport. So that's the next phase where we have built now what I would say is one of the most beautiful and sustainable racecourse facilities in the world.
You have over 400 racehorses there now, right?
We have 1/3 of the horse.
You started with nothing, and you now have 400.
Yeah, 1/3 of the horse population in Hong Kong is not there. So with Chongfa, we could expand the horse population. If we would have not Chongfa, we would have had to reduce the horse population because we would have to build the whole stables. When you quantify it, with 30% of the horses coming now from Chongfa, Chongfa creates probably around 1.5, 1.8 billion revenue for us and 4 billion revenue for the Hong Kong government due to the fact that we could increase the horse population and not reduce it. So from the business logic,
Oh my goodness.
so there is a qualities training aspect,
Yeah.
but there's a business background that this has helped us in a way to sustain and even to grow the income base.
How long does it take to bring the horses?
It's
back
around
and forth?
4.5 hours, but it's
Each way.
each way, yeah. But it's nothing for us. But we had to overcome all the regulation, tax, imports,
Wow.
border
Order control.
Control.
People that were with the
Yeah,
horses who
yeah.
didn't have visa pass or didn't China passports.
So that, but all these that is seamless, and what I think is one of the major example of resilience, that we were even able during COVID not to suspend
Racing.
and horse transport between China and Hong Kong.
Continued.
We continued. We built 2 quarantine centers, one in Bees River and one we had in our training center, where people had to go in a quarantine, our whole transporter horse staff.
Everyone had to go into quarantine.
Quarantine,
Okay.
2 weeks, and then could for 3 weeks go back and forth. And then, so with this, we could keep the horse transport going.
Oh my gosh.
And that showed how much importance Shenzhen and Guangdong had in this kind of arrangement, because a lot of things were suspended,
Yeah.
but this was permitted.
That's extremely remarkable. Do you know? I'm just going to mention when I was in Mongolia with the Race Owners Association, Hong Kong Race Owners Association, one of our tour guides was a vet from Chongguan. So you had trained him and brought him up into the horses. So he was trying to help now with Shenzhen and Mongolia in terms of bringing the horses in. So this has spread like wildfire. In fact, didn't you just sign a treaty in Shenzhen with something to do with horses? What are you doing? What is that about?
If you look at under the one country, two system, we have to make contribution to the country.
Yes.
And we have expertise if it comes to, especially in the field of horses and horse racing and horse sports. So there is in 2020, Minister of Agriculture and Minister of Sport issued a National Equine Industry Development Roadmap. where they want to build an equine industry because they think there's huge potential. So, and we have been and has been asked to make contributions. And one of the contributions is how you develop a breeding program, how you register.
Which was another one of your
thoroughbreds.
passions, is breeding.
Yes. Yeah. And not only thoroughbreds, but even Mongolian ponies, Yili horses. So how you create a health status in China. So this is one of our strategies, how we make with our expertise contribution to build capability, capacity. And one key strategic initiative we have, one of the really greatest horse culture is in Xinjiang in Mongolia. So therefore we have not deliberately chosen these two parts to improve the quality of breeding, and horsemanship is great. But veterinary science, medication of horses, registration of breeding, that you build a stud book, this is where we help to facilitate this. And when you see as horsemen, they're tremendous horsemen. Is there talents we could use and train them as jockeys?
Yes.
And we can do this in Shungfa. Because it's difficult to bring people necessarily into Hong Kong. But within China, and we have dedicated training facilities where we have now structured program from equestrian care, mafus, farriers. So we build skills, which is not only for us, but for the whole industry in China. So that is practically in a development hub. And the next thing is, we have this for jockeys too. We have now the first mainland trainees.
Where is this?
In Shungfa.
Oh, in Chongfa.
And Hangzhou, where we have a pre-training. So this training center is a center for national equine industry development.
Oh my God.
And the next phase we want to do, we want to have some, we will call them team races, not classical races with individual jockeys, where these teams on thoroughbred races ride together as a youth development, as a apprentice program. I have the comparison. You want to go in the Formula 1. This is a Formula 3. And if you in this kind of team races are successful, then you can be promoted to become a jockey on apprentice jockey in the Hong Kong Jockey Club.
Oh my gosh.
So, and this has an impact on whole China, because there is then the aspiration to be one of the circles of the circle, Happy Valley, Shatin and Shungfa.
Right.
Our races are practically the Formula 1 of horse racing.
Right.
And the jockeys are the Formula 1 pilots.
Right.
This is extremely competitive.
Yeah.
And therefore, to go into this, you have to have a certain skill set and experience. For example, our apprentices, we have around 1,000 people apply. We
In Hong
every
Kong
year.
or Chongqing?
First in Hong Kong. Shungfa will be more. So then we have an assessment center where we select 100. From the 100, 10 to 15 are become apprentices.
Oh my goodness.
They go on a 7-year program. 2 years in Hong Kong. Then mandatory, they go 2 years overseas.
Wow.
And ride in not as competitive tracks. When they have then the necessary experience and pass our benchmark, then they can come into the Hong Kong circle of Formula 1 races as apprentices. So everything we do is very systematic. It's capability, capacity building.
Wow.
We enable young people to fulfill their dreams, but it is, you have to really give your best to be one of the top jockeys in Hong Kong.
Oh my gosh. I mean, I don't think people also really appreciate that in China, with Genghis Khan and the Mongolians and so on, what a horse country it is. They're passionate about these horses. They're to see hundreds of thousands of them running across the fields and so on, and their love and their passion for these horses. People would have never experienced that before.
I think I highly recommend. Xinjiang is a beautiful countryside. and the horsemanship there is unbelievable. Somebody has really a horse show, which is out of this world, and you have 3-year-olds riding.
3-year-old kids. Children.
Participate in this Mongolian and Xinjiang equestrian festivals. It is a little bit risky, but they are, when you see
incredible.
the balance they have and how they connect with the horse. It's real, true horsemanship.
Yeah.
And can you bring them
Bring it here.
here? One of the issues is they ride a little bit wild. So here,
Backwards, upside down.
so here, it is in a way, because horse racing is a dangerous sport.
Yes, yeah.
So this is, it is,
Yeah.
and therefore safety of jockeys and respect.
Yeah.
And this is not what they do, the fight for the lamb. It is a real, but this will be one of the challenge. The skill set, how to ride,
That's incredible.
is incredible because they have a balance.
Yeah.
It's when you and normally with ponies they are slower, but they ride on Yili horses, which is a mixed breed with a lot of thoroughbred in it. They're similar to thoroughbreds in height, and how they can go off the horse, walk or run beside the horse, go back. It is. I've never imagined.
Yeah.
The speed in which they do it is fascinating.
Yes. I saw that when we were in Mongolia. It was absolutely incredible. You just mouth dropping and seeing how this young kid is able to go inside out, upside down. Are we going to bring some of these people to give a show here with Longines or something?
The problem is you need the right horses.
Oh, okay. Of
And
course.
the thoroughbreds are too fast.
Okay, be too much.
No,
okay.
but I think we can do this maybe in future, and if you have then Yili horses eligible to come into Chongfa. But again, that's the problem. These horses have a different health status.
Yeah.
And we cannot jeopardize the health status of the world-class horse population.
Yeah.
And that's why we build as a strategic investment in China. I will foresee with the development of a breeding industry, in 10 years there will be 10 to 15 years a successful breeding industry in China. So how you then bring these Chinese horses into Hong Kong? So we built now a quarantine facility beside Chongfa, which will be ready in 2027, where you can export horses from Hong Kong into mainland China.
Oh, wow.
That could be, because these horses would be interesting for breeding or for retirement.
Yeah.
But if you have then a prosperous racing or equestrian industry, the horses could come via this quarantine center, could acquire the Hong Kong health status, and then participate in Hong Kong races or go overseas.
Wow.
So this is a strategy where we look long term.
Wow.
And what many people don't know, one of the biggest horse owner in the world is mainland Chinese, Mr. Chang.
Yeah.
He has now 1,300 horses in training. And some of the best horses in the world. So this, why we think it will be an ecosystem, and Hong Kong could be the Olymp.
The heart, the center.
The center. And this is why Hong Kong racing has to be world class.
Yes.
Because everything which happens in mainland, or now Chinese mainland, the new definition.
Yes.
If you're not world class,
Yes.
you will have not a chance to be successful.
Well, haven't you committed this year something like 276 billion to, no, how much is it? 276 billion to racing, to the competition. 276 million is being committed for horse racing, winning races. For
Prize money.
For the prize money.
Yeah,
Sorry,
yeah.
I couldn't get it out. Thank you. Prize money.
No,
prize money.
I think billion, I wasn't a bit careful. I would
get
do this,
Hong Kong dollars,
but this would be
US dollars.
inflation. That would be inflation.
Yeah.
So we have the highest prize money in the world.
Highest prize money in the
In the
world
world per race.
per race.
Because you have to create incentive structure, because we have no breeding. So owners have to buy horses. And this was one of the strategic elements when I became, at that time, director of racing. I said we have to increase our prize money by 30%. And our finance director nearly collapsed. But I said, look, it's no problem. I will improve productivity, effectiveness. This effectiveness, what I do here, I want to put in prize money. It's not an increase of cost base. So I was able to fund practically this additional prize money completely via improvement of cost.
I mean, one of your horse owners, the horse has won 177 million. Did I see that right?
He won even a little bit more. It's now 212 million.
212. Which horse was that?
It's Romantic Warrior. It's the
Romantic Warrior
highest prize money
in the world.
in the world.
In the world, has to
in
be.
the history. Yeah.
Oh, it's just incredible.
Yeah.
I mean,
but this shows the quality of Hong Kong racing.
yeah,
He won in Japan. He won in Dubai,
yeah.
which is in Japan. The Yoshida Kinen has not won since 20 years by any overseas horse. And the last time the horse won was a Hong Kong horse, was Bullish Luck.
Oh, wow.
No, but I think this shows the quality of Hong Kong racing.
Yeah.
And now we are very excited on the weekend. We have Kaiying Rising running in the Everest. So when Kaiying Rising did his barrier trial, they had a live TV coverage in Australia about a Hong Kong horse running in a trial in Randwick.
Oh, my goodness.
And this goes back how we promote the sport.
Right.
But coming back, when you look at the club, we are horse racing. But why the club is so successful is we have a purpose.
Yes, please.
Because our purpose, and this is a fascinating, that attracted me to come to Hong Kong too. Many organizations look for purpose. We had this always. In the history, we were always not for profit.
Yeah.
And this is an amazing motivating tool
Yeah.
for our employees.
Yeah.
And that has driven the club to make contributions to the betterment of society.
Yes.
And if it comes to gaming, one has to be very conscious,
Yeah.
can create social issues.
Yes.
We do this in a responsible way.
Yes.
We are not driven by quarterly results. And why we have such an acceptance rate? Our acceptance rate in Hong Kong is 86 to 90%.
Wow.
Reason is
Charity.
we touch the lives of people in Hong Kong.
Yeah, I'd like to dwell on that, Winfried, because you are the biggest charitable donor in Hong Kong, Asia, and you're the top 20 in the world. And you are committing over 9
billion.
billion a year towards that. Oh, by the way, I also want to mention you're also the biggest taxpayer in Hong Kong.
Yeah,
you only pay around 30 billion a year,
Yeah.
29 point whatever per year, going back to the government and Hong Kong. But with the monies that you have contributed to charity, how do you manage that? Because you've got hundreds of projects. How do you determine where it should go? How does Jockey Club process that?
I think if you look at charity development and giving back to the community, it is a very interesting process when you go back to the history. What are the needs at a certain period of time where you can make a social impact? One of our earliest projects was Hong Kong Jockey Club clinics.
Hong Kong Jockey Club.
Club clinics. We funded around 80 clinics across Hong Kong.
Clinics for people.
For people.
Okay.
Because there was a need to improve the medical support.
Whoa.
So that was very much in the beginning of the club.
Okay.
Hong Kong Jockey Club clinics. Then, so health, public health was always a key focus.
Okay.
Then sports. Interesting enough, sports was always one of the key charity community areas. The first public swimming pools, many of them was funded by the Jockey Club.
Oh, wow.
Then we funded the Sports Institute,
Yeah.
which came with the development of the Sha Tin racecourse. It was practically an annex of the Sha Tin racecourse, where the government said, okay, you've built a racecourse, can you do something more? And when you see the impact of the Sha Tin racecourse on the development of Sha Tin, the whole infrastructure was built.
Yeah.
Sha Tin at that time was a fishing village,
Yeah.
30, 40,000 people. Now it's a million.
Right.
But our charity has always grown with the community needs. And the community needs now are different. And it was first that we decided with the government what are the projects. With the building of an NGO system, we have started, especially 20 years ago, have a much more clearer dialogue besides the government. What are the social needs? Because it is, you can have a hypothesis, but being a fact-based person, and I was, my professor was a chief economic advisor of the German government, so I did a lot of policy studies. So we then discussed how we can more systematically analyze what our social needs are, what the government does, and how we can complement government.
Wow.
So this went then into the first, what we call TIP projects, that are trust-initiated projects, where we said, this is a social need, how we can find solution, and we can do pilots. One of the projects is Cool Think. We saw there is no computational training curriculum in primary or secondary schools. So then we went to MIT, Hong Kong University, and Education University and say, can we create a program for primary and secondary students of computational thinking? So we then trained 200 teachers. We run pilots in schools to equip younger children, which is a must. If you don't understand how computers...
Yeah, got to start young.
So this has then rolled out to 300-400 schools, and now it has become a curriculum, a school curriculum. So we test these models. Another aspect or other project which I think is interesting is Path. You can see a lot of young children, they are pushed academically strong, but not everybody can be academically strong. And so many of them felt disconnected. So we then had a program where we built around capability of 300-400 teachers who talk to children and to the parents what their skills are. There may be more vocational training skills. So how they can find a path besides academic where they feel value, where they see that's an opportunity I have. So these are programs we have designed and not only fund money, but you can do this only if you deeply understand the community needs. So we work with the government, we work with a lot of the NGOs, and then look where we have the social needs. Another project on the other side is when people are at the end of life, which is especially in Chinese culture, it's a taboo practically about death. And you don't want to have people dying in your home.
No.
So then a lot of people go to hospitals. It's an economic issue because people stay in hospital too long, but one cannot help them.
Yeah.
So we built then, in a way, really centers for where people can say, in a dignified way, can spend their last moments in life with their families.
Oh, wow.
Supported. So this is where we try to identify what our needs are, and then, in a way, especially design programs and create impact. But the bigger issue, what you rightfully ask, is you have so many needs. How you prioritize?
How do you prioritize? How do you allocate? How each year?
So, and this goes back. We make always 3-year plans, and try to look where we can create the biggest impact, where the biggest gaps. And we have been coming from a financial background. I'm very result and impact orientated. So it is. And there are multiple frameworks how you measure social impact. Probably in Asia, it's the most framework is the MEL project, where you monitor, evaluate, and learn. So it's practically a permanent cycle. But we have definitely developed much more indices to evaluate. But I believe the biggest issue is you don't have sometimes enough data. So in an ideal world, you would have a data platform where then the different NGOs tell you what the impact of your program is, or their project is. So when you then would have this data, then you can say, oh, where we can fine tune, where we can improve. So we are at the moment in discussions with NGOs. Can you create platforms where NGOs exchange data? In Hong Kong, you have many NGOs working in a similar field, but they don't talk to each other. So we create a platform. Then with the platform, we can create solutions which not only one NGO can use.
Collaborating, right.
You calibrate, even
Yeah.
systems,
Yeah.
information sharing.
Yeah.
So the Jockey Club is, in this respect, is a major information sharing platform.
Wow, you're a major, I mean, really, that's really one of the key things. You're a major international racing collaborator, China collaborator now with the charities, but then you're so, sorry, you have so many things that you are involved in. I don't know how you manage it all. But then on this charity side, how big of a team do you have? How do they pull this together? Because obviously they have to come to you and then final decisions are made.
I think we have, I'm really proud of the team we have in the charity side, where we have 180 extremely dedicated, very smart people who are working with government, working with the community, and they are the areas, especially we have a very strong focus on youth and youth development.
Yeah.
We have a very strong focus on, I call it positive aging.
Yeah.
Because what are the biggest issues, when you really step back, what are the biggest issues where you can make an impact? One is youth development, because that's the future. And if you build the right values, if you equip people with the right opportunities, this is something which is extremely impactful.
Yes.
The other aspect is one has to see that we have an aging population.
Yeah.
And you have a lot of people who are lonely.
Yeah.
They have no network.
Yeah.
So positive aging is a key aspect. And when you combine it with sports has a major impact on mental health and on character building. So in young people and in more mature people. If you would have people of a certain age do more sports, there are very interesting statistics that you have maybe a certain phase in life where you need care, but this phase is much smaller. It has a significant economic value besides social value if people be mobile, active. So their health is better, and therefore their phase where they need external support is significantly reduced. So when you look at design of programs, you can combine impact with economic impact. It's a social impact and the economic impact. So if you would reduce the number of people who have been hospitalized by a factor of 20%, you create already a significant economic value. This is why we structure the project and programs from a social side, but what is the economic positive contribution we can create with this program?
That's remarkable. I'd never heard of that kind of a study before, and you're helping to support the young people, the sports institutes, and then getting into the aging and so on. I'm just going to take it to one other step. Maybe it's racing. Just coming back to racing for a moment. How are you attracting young people into racing? I mean, I was very excited in all these filmings that you're doing, Dr. Triumph and Ask It and everything. There are kids running all over the place. Yeah. We don't have kids running all over the place. How do we get more kids involved at the race course, or what is it? And then maybe coming in as the new owners. I don't know.
I think this is one of the challenges we had, that horse racing was always seen as gambling. And when you look at the Chinese word horse, it's gambling horse, Huma. So we could convince the government to give us a permission for owners, that owners' children could come to the races. We created a special zone. If we would have not done this, we would have already missed the third generation of owners.
Exactly.
Many of them are now horse owners. With becoming becoming now horse racing as tourism.
Yeah.
People want to bring their children to the race.
Yeah.
In Wednesday night is a little bit more difficult,
Yeah.
but we built now inside Penfold Park a pony world.
Penford Park's the middle of
It's
Sha
the middle
Tin,
of Sha Tin
the middle ring,
Racecourse.
which is what all the construction is that's going on there.
So we built there a horse pony world,
Okay.
and there is access to Penfold Park because it's a public park during the week, where we will have then the permission to bring families in. Probably will start in February, March, that families with children can go in the infield and watch races and enjoy
watch the racing while they're out there playing with the ponies.
Yeah.
That's brilliant.
And I think if you look, there are very successful models. Japan is the most successful model, where you have this in the infield, this family facilities. And if you, all statistics studies show, if you're not connected when you're 14 with a sport, the probability you get into sport is minimal. So therefore we have to, and this comes from the sport of horse racing, the love of horses.
Yes.
So February, March, we will be able to bring families into Penfold Park. We could look at the programs we have to do, but this is a very exciting achievement.
That is amazing. I'm definitely telling all my friends, and I completely go along with what you're saying about this next generation, because some of my friends who were already owners and then the kids were young and they weren't interested, now they're getting engaged in it. Now they're buying horses. Now they're hanging out with the family. Now they're traveling all over the world and buying horses. They're loving it, you know, and it's become a community in itself.
And for the younger generation, you have to create different experiences.
Yes. Yeah.
And many of them don't want to be with their parents.
No.
So therefore, we have in the racecourse master plan designed specific value proposition experiences which are for a younger generation who want to, in a way, be alone
hang
and
out
not
with them, hang out with their friends.
And it's much
so
more casual.
Yeah.
And everything which happening, we have created now AI-supported learning about horses, including selecting horses for wagering. We introduce this now. We have a new facility in Hong Kong. It's called The Beat and the Vantage.
Okay.
Highly recommend to go there.
Where is this?
It's in Happy Valley, called Beat and Vantage. We had before a hangout facility called Adrenaline.
Okay.
So we created now 2 floors with live music, and there are huge screens where you can choose and learn about horses' ability.
Oh, that's wonderful.
It's AI supported.
That's
wonderful. And we will bring this on platform on iPad platforms. So that's the next
time I'm at Happy Valley, because normally we're entertaining and we have a box or something like that. Forget it. I'm dragging everyone downstairs to go see all the facilities and see what's going on and go boogie with it, with the music and so on.
The Beat is a fantastic facility.
Oh my goodness.
So where we have huge screens, interactive screens,
yes,
where you choose what horse elements you would like to explore.
That's great.
And then you can make a choice and say, oh, I have these 4 criteria. What is a horse I should select then?
Oh, that's wonderful.
So it's interactive.
Oh, that's wonderful. Let me ask you something else as well, because I think it's another one of the Jockey Club's motivations and concerns, and you've made great strides in it, is on ESG.
Yeah.
And like even with the golf, you have at Khao Chow, you've got all the ferries are solar.
Solar,
You're putting in solar panels all over. Maybe tell us a little bit about your mission there and what you're doing to contribute to that.
I think we had, even before you had the classical ESG measurement, we had a very dedicated approach to reduce carbon emission. So we practically, all facilities we have, where in Hong Kong had a lot of air-cooled units, they're all water-cooled. We have a whole water-cooled cooling system.
Oh my goodness.
Everything in the stables and in the grandstand. So that was something we did 16, 17 years ago as a first approach. Now we look at...
having it water-cooled, that cuts down on the amount of energy that you have to use?
It is practically, you will reduce the energy by 40%, 50%.
Oh.
So it's a huge carbon emission.
Oh.
So we have done systematic studies, dual materiality studies, etc. We have a clear roadmap where we can systematically reduce our carbon footprint. The whole decarbonization is a very complicated with processes, etc. So we map out practically end-to-end business processes and look at every element of this where we can in a way improve. The race course in Chongfa is completely designed with sustainability in mind. You have, where we have in Hong Kong this huge roof, the roof in CRC is even bigger. It's 3 times the size, and they are specially designed photo cells.
Oh, wow.
So 70% of the energy we use in the grandstand on a day-to-day basis will be via this roof.
Wow.
And then we work with China Resources to have a wind farm, probably 5 kilometers away from the race course, so that the rest of the energy is generated via a wind farm.
Oh, that's remarkable.
So this is why we can then, in China, we could start with a completely integrated model.
Right.
Here in Hong Kong, we go systematic through the different elements. For example, in Khao Sai Chao, we started, or it's now 16 years ago, with the solar ferries. Now we will have, we have lakes there.
Mm-hmm.
We will create solar lakes. So we will create solar panels on the lake, so that we, even in Khao Sai Chao, probably will go to 60-70% of the energy
So if
we
my
use.
golf ball lands on the solar panel, it's not my fault. It's okay.
No, I will not charge you. No, but I think this is.
That's brilliant. That's actually
And
brilliant.
it will be very visible. So, but one of the aspects really is you have to really go through your whole business processes and operation process, and evaluate where you are most effective,
Yeah.
how you in a way can serve energy.
That's a study that's been ongoing for many, many years.
Yes.
You've been-
Once we implement now the first phases, but it's a permanent review of our processes, and we have, if you see, we have significantly increased air-conditioned facilities, for example, in the grandstand.
That's amazing.
But we are still below what we produced as carbon footprint 20 years ago.
That's still remarkable. Oh, that's
But
remarkable.
to go further, it becomes, you have to go much more holistic in processes.
All right.
And not, what we do is a typical 80-20. First, with this 20%, you have create already 80% effect.
Right.
So you really
Right.
prioritize
Right.
what we have done, but water is definitely another massive issue. We have now created huge water retention tanks with filter system where we use a lot of recycled water for watering our tracks. Because the water consumption on the track was significant. But you have to really recycle. When you recycle, you have to be very careful that you don't have suddenly a high salt content
Right.
in the water, and then your grass looks a little bit like the Gobi Desert.
All right. 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 You're sharing stories with me. I've always wanted other people to know more about really what the Jockey Club is doing, the number of race courses that you're building out, what you're doing with China, how you've been very much of a world global, what do I say, international collaborator, diplomat, just I can't get the word out that I'm trying to say, but at the highest possible level of communicating what racing is about, what the community is about giving back into the charity, and as well as the racing as a sport, not only as a sport but also as a leisure activity, as a tourism, how you've attracted so many people in Hong Kong with Happy Valley and so on. So I'm just so grateful you're here, and I think that everything you've done has been absolutely remarkable. So thank you so much for coming to see me today and allowing us to be able to share this with our friends in the public. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
I would love to share a cigar with you, but next time we do a red wine.
Oh, okay. Okay, fair enough. Next time we do a red wine. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank
Pleasure.
you.
Thank you.